energy to be as loud as the disrespect was. That's all I need. It was a bad shot, but he was out of rhythm as well.
Don't try to take up. That was a bad
He
shot.
was out of rhythm though.
Yo, we get the camera.
What's up, everybody?
What's good, Bama State, man?
We missed y'all. You know what it is. It's your boy Kendall. I'm here with my man Khalil. It's another episode of the Wild Card.
Some losses sting more than others.
Yeah.
That was definitely that one left kind of speechless.
Yeah, might have been one of the worst losses of the year for sure.
And there's been a lot of rough ones.
Yeah, and that's the crazy part too. Yeah. We're 4 losses in, 6-4.
We're all cool with UCLA.
Yeah.
Even though that game we were still looking back on it, we were very competitive in that game.
For sure, a lot more competitive than I expected.
Yeah, they're number 10 right now in the country.
Yeah,
very crazy.
Yeah, definitely wasn't expecting them other 3.
Make sure y'all share the stream. Get y'all ASU people in here, man. We're gonna give it a couple minutes, get about 10 people, and then we just start rambling on it.
Yeah, but them other 3 losses is very hard to swallow. Very hard to swallow.
Could very easily be a 1-loss team right now.
Yeah.
In the SWAC championship, personally.
Yeah. FAMU, Prairie View, and Jackson State.
Mm-hmm. I'm even a little bit cool with the Jackson State loss in a way, more than these other 2. But you know what sucks though?
What?
I hate that we don't have like a postseason, like a playoff or something.
I do too. I definitely feel like it would make the latter part of the season more interesting.
Yeah, because now you're playing for nothing. You're playing for next year almost. Yeah. It's almost like a spring game.
Yeah,
right?
Turkey Day Classic is cool and everything, and I think it's especially since me and you we're younger, so we don't necessarily get the full gratification of Turkey Day and all of that.
Even then, though, I don't think the alumni are too hyped, especially since it's not Tuskegee.
Yeah, ASU. That too.
So
I also think it's not homecoming anymore for us either. Mm-hmm. So I think that also takes it down a peg as far as the enjoyment of it and all of that. So
yeah,
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, it really breaks my heart that I don't have any more for the season anymore.
Especially because it was a close game, and I wasn't expecting it to be necessarily a game where it was like
came out of that.
Yeah.
I thought whoever won was just gonna win.
I mean, I said 30-27. I think was my final prediction.
I had 21-17.
Yeah, you was a lot closer than I was.
The wrong way.
Yeah,
but let's go ahead and get into this topic. I didn't mean to cut you off. You continue with your point that you just had. Kendall, we struggled offensively all season long. There have been highs. You come off the highest scoring game of the season last week, or week before last. I'm sorry.
Just with Dawn Cooking. Yep.
To this week, you have one of your more pedestrian games where you don't even do. We scored 1 touchdown the whole game, 1 passing, 1 offensive touchdown, because the other one was a. So even if we would have won this game, like I said, it still wouldn't have given me the gratification. But a win is a win. Like Coach Robinson said, never apologize for winning.
For sure.
Is it time for us to make a change at the offensive coordinator position, Kendall? And fans, whoever's watching, you can comment as well. Let us know.
Yeah, let us know what y'all think. I'm not gonna sit here and say that I think we need a new offensive coordinator off rip. Mm-hmm. I think there's a lot of things that we need to address. We talked about the offensive line. Now, I'm not gonna put all of the onus on the offensive line as far as their capabilities as players. Mm-hmm. I think part of that is coaching.
Oh wow, super yes.
I think part of that is coaching, as far as we talked about, like their lack of communication, their lack of I guess working as a team. Now you also got to put into account that this team, or that this offensive line they've battled with injuries as well. Mm-hmm. So it's like it's a lot of stuff to take into account. I feel like you haven't had your starting quarterback for the whole season. Wide receivers have been injured. I mean, I think it's a lot to take into account, but I don't know if it's a 1 year and done. I don't know if it's a 1 and done.
I mean, injuries.
Yeah.
Offensive line. Mm-hmm. It's been a lot of things that have kind of made this happen this way. Mm-hmm. but he's not helping himself, especially not Saturday.
I think the play calling is starting to be more questionable as we're starting to go down the wire as far as the season is concerned. I definitely think the play calling could be better for sure.
New strength and conditioning coach.
Why do you say that? What's
program?
what's the mindset for that one? I'm interested.
I guess
to hear the
injuries.
mindset. Yeah. But I mean, what outside of Didi, Levante, that was more like a freak accident. I feel like Ja'Cory, I mean, he's coming off of a surgery injury last season. I don't really think he's ever been fully healthy. So yeah, I guess what's the mindset behind that one? Would be my question.
I don't know. The thing is, I don't even, and I was the one that posed this question because I saw people talking about it. I don't know if we make an offensive coordinator change based on the fact that Demetrius is a freshman, and coach, it's gonna be more than 1 year of them. He has to get to know, definitely build a relationship with each other. You know, you can't do that too soon, and especially when he's only played 3 full games now.
I definitely think you don't want to put a freshman quarterback in a position where he has to deal with a new offensive coordinator every year. Too. If you're going to change the offensive coordinator, I feel like you need to be certain that that's going to be the last time that you change the offensive coordinator. Because especially quarterback coaches, if they get a new one of those too, you don't want to keep putting them in a position where he has to continue to learn a new system, or he has to continue to learn a new coach.
Yeah, his designs are. I like I said at the beginning of the season, the play calling that he does. I like the trick plays. I like him, spreading the field and actually giving us opportunity to see what kind of coverage the defense is in. But it's just a matter of the timing of the play calls. Why are we running the ball on third down?
Yeah.
With 3 minutes left in the game, and
we're letting long at that.
Third and long. Yeah. Why are we running if we know our offensive line is bad and we're on the 1 yard line, why are we trying to drop back for a pass? Like you said, having all the receivers on one opposite side of the field and no type of anything going on in the middle. Why are we doing that? Like, it's just stuff, the timing of the calls. Stuff like that is what makes you question, okay, even if we did have a healthy team, is this the answer for us?
And I feel like you said, it's like this says, like the designs are good. I mean, I haven't seen offenses where, and I told you this earlier, where we had our fullback Dylan Creech. He's lining up on one side of the field and then coming straight down the line of scrimmage to block the other side end, or the opposite side end. Yeah, especially when you're going up against guys like Isaiah Land at the end position. That's a smart play, and it worked a couple of times too, because he got what. I think the first 3 plays of the game, he got three pancakes. Yeah. Or at least he smacked 3 dudes. I don't know if he got pancakes on all 3.
Yeah.
But he smacked 3 dudes. And when you look at it like that, it's like, yo, this is solid play calling. But then, like you said, the plays later on in the game where you got where you were just talking about, that's the type of stuff that's kind of hard for me to wrap my head around, the questionable play calling. And I don't really think it helps your offense, who has been struggling all season. So that part I can kind of understand.
Yeah, it's like, why are we're shooting ourselves in the foot. We're putting a lot more pressure on Demetrius than we really should be. And I think that, you have to play to, that they're saying coach your team.
Yeah.
You can't, why are you trying to almost, I think sometimes we try to make Demetrius something that he's not. And we know he's great at throwing slants. He can push the ball in the field with time. Yep. He's a great runner of the football. I think
very talented.
Very talented. He's versatile.
Dual threat quarterback. Yeah, I think personally.
Yeah, I don't think he was given the opportunity to be dual threat Saturday. I think they tried to make him more of a pocket passer, which that wasn't the recipe for success against Bethune-Cookman. Yes, he made some great pocket passes, but you also gave him opportunity to get out the pocket and make throws and run. I think we need more play actions, especially when you're really what they want to do is running the football. They've made that pretty evident. And that's another thing. Jawan should get more carries. When we're playing defensive fronts like A&M. We're playing defensive fronts like FAMU, Jackson State that are big, physical. Juwan is meant for that. That's not meant for, Santo can come in every now and then and, stretch the perimeter of the field, but we need somebody that can really pound defense in the middle, and that's not, a $150.
I definitely think it was good to see Juwan get the ball. It was good to see him. I think it was a third down where he got or another run play, third down. I think he got he converted the down, but I think he got 10 yards, something like that. He bursted through the middle.
He's powerful.
And, yeah, that's the type of stuff that you want. I've been saying it earlier. I think that we would benefit from giving him the ball more because I haven't really seen him as much these last couple games.
But when you can't deny the fact that every time he touches the ball, he's leaning forward. He's picking up some form of yardage. Yeah, he's not going backwards. Mm-hmm. He's not even, getting stuffed up by a line.
Yeah.
I think one thing that really separates, and you play football, there's one thing that separates good running backs from great ones is not getting down on the first hit. Mm-hmm. The first sign of contact, you're not giving up.
Yeah, for sure. I also think the talent on the offensive side of the ball, I agree with that for sure. As far as the talent on the offensive side of the ball, I think if you're looking at just straight up talent, I feel like it's arguable how much talent is on either side of the ball.
Mm-hmm. We both admit this. FAMU has more talent than us.
Yeah.
I want to say both sides of the ball, mm-hmm. but you couldn't tell that because FAMU. They beat us, but they weren't.
That's a totally different. I think you got that as a topic. That's a totally different.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
But yeah, Diddy, he does a great job on rollouts. Mm-hmm. I think that he shows his capabilities as a passer on the run, in rollouts pretty nicely. I mean, the ones that I've seen, I think the ones that kind of stood out to me as, all right, this dude just isn't a scrambler. Was early on in the season when he started throwing the ball.
Last week against Bethune-Cookman, he has accuracy.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, like we said, I think he's going to get the opportunity to kind of continue to show that. But right now, offensive play calling doesn't always give him the opportunity to do that.
I think one thing is really going to, let's just say that we keep this offensive coordinator for next season. Mm-hmm. At what point do you see, if you're Coach Robinson, put yourself in his shoes, do you say, okay, it's time to make a change?
I need to see a lot more improvement as far as consistency with the offensive play calling. Mm-hmm. We talk a lot about, as we watch the game.
Let me ask this too. How much input do you think Coach Robinson has into offensive play calling as a first-time coach?
Now that I can't really speak on, just because of the fact that I feel like with a rookie head coach, I think the philosophy behind that is you put people around you that know more than you, I think, or that at least can have more coaching experience. They have more of an understanding of, all right, this is how we're going to put the guys in the best position possible. Mm-hmm. So I'm guessing that's what he did, but I really don't have a way of knowing as far as how far do I take it with him next year as far as success. Like I said, I need to see a difference in offensive play calling consistency. Mm-hmm. Because I think the defense, you have that consistency as far as how they're going to play. Offense is a hit or miss. Sometimes they can come out like they did against Bethune-Cookman. Sometimes they can come out like how they did against FAMU. So again, it just all depends.
Look on this Crawley. Whichever one you back from the house picture that Miles Crawley. I agree with the up tempo play calling. We saw that against Howard.
Yeah.
When we
I'll
were
go to that one first.
Yeah. Okay. The up tempo play style is more what fits a quarterback of Dimitri's style, mm-hmm. and I think we saw that an up tempo when you're in rhythm, it throws off any defense.
Yeah, it puts the defense on the toes for sure, and it puts them in a position where they can't sub a lot too.
Mm-hmm. But you can't play up tempo mm-hmm. if you're not getting consistent positive yardage.
Yeah,
you can't get a 2nd and 15 mm-hmm. after a quarterback sack and it's okay. Everybody scramble! Come on!
Yeah, that's definitely hard to do.
I think sometimes Demetrius, or maybe it's the play calling as well. Mm-hmm. They don't have enough checkdowns available.
So, first of all, we appreciate the support. We definitely do. I saw this earlier. We definitely appreciate the support,
even from JSU fans.
Yeah, definitely. Much love. this is kind of getting on to what you were just talking about. The short passes. I told you last year, I was like, one of the things that Miles, Joe, and Ryan Nettles got to or had at their disposal was a lot of short passes, tight ends, short routes from the wide receivers. They had that. That was accessible to them. Our offense was not the best last year. They struggled. They weren't good, especially down the road. But one of the things that all three of those quarterbacks benefited from was having access to those short passes. We don't have enough of those. I told you before about the tight ends. The way that you utilize tight ends with a running quarterback or with the quarterback that can scramble like this, you get them short passes, short slants, short outs, short overs across the middle. You do that to give them that cushion. One of the reasons why Lamar Jackson has so much success with Mark Andrews is because they run a lot of stuff that caters to that connection.
Some of the best quarterbacks in the league, they have a really, really good tight end. Mm-hmm. Tom Brady, Cam back with Greg Olsen, Patrick Mahomes.
Yes, with Travis.
Tight ends are very valuable. I don't think that we. I guess it's we don't utilize them.
Bro, it doesn't make sense to me that you got two dudes that was there's a lot of hype around. It's Jalen Lay and what's the other?
J.C. Medlock.
And J.C. Medlock. I know one was from Clemson. I don't remember what the other one was.
Connecticut.
Those are two big time players that you could possibly get the ball to. Yeah. I understand the fact that we need to use them in pass protection a lot. I get that. But at the same time, give them the ball a little bit. Make something happen with it. That's all I'm saying. Like, I feel like you should benefit more from having those dudes, those big dudes, force those linebackers to have to cover somebody. But we don't do that enough, and I feel like that.
I'll say this: I haven't checked this.
Yeah,
maybe you could check that out real quick. But just from the eye test, I'll say our offense is better than last year. It may not be by the absurd amount, but I think that we are better. We were a better rushing team last year, I want to say. I think because Ja'Cory was a lot better last year as far as putting up consistent numbers. I think our passing probably about the same, honestly.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Our highest scoring game this year was 37.
Think about this, Kendall. We'll finish the offensive thing, and then let's go back to this. We'll get some.
I got a good response to that, actually.
Okay. Well, what do y'all? The question is, it's not up right now. Do y'all think that we should make a change in the offense coordinator position? Is it time to move on and try to look another direction as far as offense due to the lack of production offense put up last year? There's an argument that last week our offense put up the highest amount of points it has all season, and this week they just left a lot to be desired. I think they left a lot of what's the phrase? Left a lot of chicken on the bone. There was a lot of opportunities.
That's some country stuff, bro. I ain't never heard of that one. I can't cap to you. I was with you with the first one. I ain't never heard that.
Okay, one. Not the point. But I think that you can agree that we had a lot of opportunity to put this game away, and we did not. That's what that phrase means.
So, according to SWAC.org, we're 11th in the conference in scoring. So we have the 11th best.
That doesn't surprise me.
We have the second worst offense in the SWAC. Right in front of Mississippi Valley State.
That's crazy. How the second worst offense and be third in your division.
We have the second to worst rushing attack in the SWAC. I'm trying to look at passing. Passing, we're top 6, so we're middle of the pack.
I think some of those are for Miles though, because against Mississippi Valley he threw for like 220.
I mean, yeah, but I think that should be into account for sure.
Okay, that's fair.
He said yardage and points.
Yeah, that's a fair point, and I think that should be taken into account.
Second to last in yardage too.
But I also think that the decision making in that game was a lot. The play calling was a lot better in the game. Like I said, I think that sometimes you have to understand the team that you have and play to that personnel.
Yeah.
I don't think that we played our personnel enough.
Not to cut you off, but we were ninth. We had the 9th overall offense last year. We had the second to last rushing attack, and we had the ninth passing attack. So we were a little bit better statistically last year.
But to the eye test, I think.
Yeah, but I feel like that's more of an eye test thing than anything else.
But I also think the reason I say that now is because we're able to execute points in big moments.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes when we need to score, like Saturday, that trick play, plays like that make me say, okay, we're better than last year. We're able to come up with plays when we need them, but then we also have moments when we can't score and we don't know how to. I told you this in the press box. Time of possession.
We suck at time.
Fam, you killed us in that first half. I was surprised our defense didn't fold earlier, honestly.
That's one of the things that I think and with some of the wins that I was talking about, I feel like we overlook how big of an issue that is because our defense bails us out so much.
Mm-hmm.
If our defense was just a little bit worse, these disparities would be a lot bigger. But they're not because of how good our defense is.
Yeah.
And so I feel like we take advantage of that and we kind of use that as far as, okay, we got the win, but we shouldn't have won this game.
Like the stream, comment, and subscribe.
You can't expect your defense to bail you out every single game. We have some great players on defense, but you can't expect them to bail you out every game because they're going to have games like Bethune-Cookman. They're going to have games where they're not the best. And if our offense doesn't score almost 40 points, it doesn't look good.
Yeah, but our defense, and we're going to talk. Yeah, our guy Demarez, that play really, it didn't decide the game.
It didn't.
But
it didn't at all.
In that moment, I think that I want to say that was third down,
mm-hmm.
and you give them another opportunity to go down, and I think I have opportunity to get some points.
Yeah, you talk about
discipline, man, discipline,
and we've talked about all of that before. Like discipline has been an issue for us.
Yeah. And like
for the longest,
it's just something that hasn't improved.
Mm-hmm.
Like it'll go away one week, and then it rears its ugly head.
And that's what I was saying. I feel like the more emotionally invested that our players get into the game,
mm-hmm.
I feel like the more the less they kind of think about what they're actually doing.
Yeah.
And it hasn't killed us as much as it probably should have.
Mm-hmm.
But it does make a difference, I think, in how we play and stuff like that. But the reason why I clicked on this was because I definitely think that, if not to just play in the game, or to lead the offenses, we have trick plays that Miles can run beautifully. We've seen it earlier on in the season where what is it? Miles
he hits the guy.
Mm-hmm.
They used to have a 3 set. And the quarter, whoever's gonna throw it, usually in the back, mm-hmm. and then the guy goes off down the field. It's the same trick play every time.
Miles can get the ball, throw it to Didi at the wide receiver, and then Didi can throw the ball. Mm-hmm. Like it's a lot that you can do with. You usually don't have a quarterback of Miles' caliber that can come off the bench, and you can still kind of trust him with stuff like that. Yeah. That's the type of stuff that I wish they would have done. You would throw out trick plays. You might as well throw out all of them.
I mean, they tried the same trick play again later in the game, and Keyshawn just they blew the play up. Mm-hmm. So if that's one thing, you have to have more than one trick play, I believe.
And I think we do. We have enough talent on our offense to have more than one.
And I don't think that to go back to we can get this in a second. I don't think that Miles would have necessarily changed anything, because I think what they're referring to is having them step in the whole game.
Yeah, that is. Yeah.
I don't think he changes much of what happened because the play calling was still questionable, and our offensive line was struggling.
Yeah,
so
I agree. I personally, I can attest to something similar. I mean, college is different, but when I was I think my senior year of high school, we had a new head coach come in and try to implement new offense and all of that type of stuff. It's a lot harder to do, I think, given the time. If you had an offensive coordinator, like say they got a new offensive coordinator as soon as the season ended, all right, you got a little bit more time to play with.
Yeah.
But you also got to think, as soon as the season ends, they're in recruiting mode. So it's a lot of different stuff going on, and then you blink, and then the spring game will be up, or the black and white game, or the black and gold game will be up. So you kind of got to prioritize that. That's a hard thing to do. It's possible, I guess. But I think it would probably be more of the same as it is this year. you got new players, you got new system, all of that.
Mhm.
I feel like it would be more the same.
Can I say something else real quick though?
What's up?
Why didn't we get the ball to our best receiver until the final drive of the game?
I was very confused about why Jeremiah didn't have the ball in his hands.
Kendall, if that's your best receiver,
Mhm.
I don't care who is guarding him.
Mhm.
You have to draw something up to get him the ball in some way possible. And we didn't do that.
Yeah, and that's the crazy part is, and they were saying in the press box too, you get the ball in Jeremiah's hands, he's a playmaker for a reason.
Yeah.
We've seen him turn nothing into something multiple times this season.
Yeah.
That's what he does. That's what he's so good at. And I definitely think that would have helped for sure. But
yeah, multiple trick plays aren't gonna work.
Bro, we gotta go down the list.
Okay, my bad. I gotta do it so excited.
Cal had a great game.
I think he'll get more playing time next year.
For sure. We talked about the depth on this defensive back room. It's a lot. Adrian has proven to make more plays in more time. Cal made a lot of plays in a small sample size. I think they're both talented players. I think that they're great players, especially considering how old they are. But I don't know. Like I said, I have Adrian. I think he's up for what? Isn't he up for a couple of awards?
I think it's the Jerry Rice Award.
Yeah, the Jerry Rice Award. I got him winning SWAC Newcomer of the Year as well. So that's a hard thing to do, but I think that they both deserve some PT for sure. I don't think that's a question.
Like Kendall said, we have a very loaded defensive back room.
Mm.
I think there's room for him to play on the field, especially if it's not completely next year. Earthshot is going to be a senior. He's going to be up in the very soon.
Yeah.
Chauncey will be gone in the next year or two. DeMars will be gone. He can work his way into the rotation and play. Like you're saying what we did against Jackson State, we were rotating a lot of guys in and out.
Yeah, the way we do our rotations, I definitely think that he's going to see the floor. He's going to see the field more.
Yeah.
I think he should. But
even if you got to put him in corner and switch him from corner to safety.
I think it's just a deep defensive background.
Mm-hmm.
Really think
which is a good problem to have.
Yeah.
Especially with Keenan leaving too, they're gonna have to find somebody to replace that hole.
For sure.
He DM'd us on Instagram, let us know he had a knee injury. No specifics on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, game time decision didn't end up playing.
We appreciate the info too, bro.
Absolutely.
What do you mean? What do you mean back? Like,
they'll be in Birmingham, I believe.
Oh, okay. All right.
That safety was a pivotal moment. I disagree.
That put them up 9-7?
Yeah.
Did they score the next possession?
They didn't score till like the 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Okay. All right. I think it gave them the advantage, and I think you kind of saw that we were playing catch up. I think a little bit more than we probably needed to.
We were still comfortable, I believe.
Yeah. So it definitely played a role because it gave them a lead, and that 2 points. That 2 points was the determining factor because were we down 1 point or 2?
1. It was 14-15.
So yeah, we still would have been in the lead if everything happened the same way. So yeah, I think it definitely played a part. I don't know if I would say pivotal, but it was definitely a very crucial point in the game for sure.
Absolutely.
So that one, and then yeah, because I didn't even realize our offense was that bad. I mean, I guess it makes sense, but I didn't realize they were that bad.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Like, comment, subscribe, Cash App, everything's at the bottom. Make sure y'all handle those for us.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying we should have did multiple in one game, but you have to have different ones available to show on film because if you're just running the same one, which we've done, it's pretty easy to pick up on.
Yeah, do it. I agree with Mr. Victor's here. We're trying to win. I think, especially like I said, you've had Homecoming, you've had Magic City, you've had all of these big games, the MEAC SWAC Challenge, you've had all of those big games. You have UAPB next, and that's it. And if you're going to run a lot of trick plays, if you're gonna implement some plays we've never seen before, you're gonna do it in these last 2 games. Especially when you're trying to get I mean, I feel like if we were in the position that FAMU was, where we could be going to FCS, playoff
We have
opportunity.
nothing to lose right now.
I think we might have pulled out a couple more. We don't really have anything to lose. So I agree more with Mr. Victor's than I do with.
I thought Cal was a freshman.
Nah, he's a sophomore.
Uh,
Yeah, he's a sophomore.
Okay.
Yeah, Cal's a sophomore. I still think. I mean, I agree. I still think that our DC.
He was bad in the first half.
I think that our defense does struggle a little bit more than they probably should. Like we said, we've talked about their talent a lot. I think that our defense does struggle a little bit more than they should. They're very good, I feel like, at bending but not breaking. That's something that I feel like kind of carried over from Coach Downhill Hilly, because they won't allow teams to score like in the red zone as much as they probably should, with how quickly they get down the field. Because I definitely think they let teams down the field a lot easier than they did last year, in certain situations. So I agree with that.
Can I say this too?
Sure.
In the first half, Musa looked a lot. Jeremy Musa looked, to me, we both said this, he looked better from the pocket as far as decision making than Shador, I would say. But in that second half, I learned why.
I mean, I told you, I didn't put too much stock into him.
Mm.
I saw him play against Jackson State. I was not impressed because a lot of the decisions that he made, he didn't make very smart throws at times, and I feel like that I don't care who you have on the outsides, like if you have a Xavier Smith or whatever. I don't know how much that really helps you. I really don't.
Keenan played a good game against him, by the way.
Yeah, he definitely did. Shout out to Keenan for that. The pivot. Anytime that you can't get it past the 40 is going to be a pivot for sure. I think our offense struggling that much, that at that point in the game definitely played a part.
And it's not like FAMU played this outstanding defensive game. Don't get me wrong, they had great moments, but there were times when I would rather see the measures. You have was that Miles when Jeremiah was running across the middle short and he fumbled the ball?
Yeah, that was Miles.
I saw Jeremiah open a lot because he runs a lot of short routes. We just don't always tend to hit him, and I think that was a big moment right there. Not right now.
No. That was more so just a question to the people, trying to see what y'all thought about the deep offense, which has been struggling for us. I can agree with that because ironically, every team I've ever played on has been exactly like this team. Defense has always been pretty good. Offense has been so-so, and that leads to games. Sure, that leads to games where the offense or the defense can stall up for sure, or the defense can get tired.
So this next question, what do you guys think? I'm gonna ask you, Kendall. Do y'all think that FAMU won this game, or do y'all think that we beat ourselves? I think there's two things can be true, but which side are you leaning more to?
I already told you. I told you during the game. I thought this was a game of who wanted to lose the game. Mm-hmm. Both teams made a whole bunch of dumb mistakes that I don't necessarily even think showed up. One of the biggest mistakes that I told you about was FAMU's clock management at the end of the first half. You got dudes 2-minute drill. Everybody practices. As soon as you get a first down, give the ball to the ref and we starting up. Or if you're going up tempo, all right, we got to get this. We got to get the ball to the quarterback. We got to go. Let's go. These dudes are showboating, doing all of this stuff, bruh. Or they're arguing with us. We already shoot ourselves in the foot enough.
Yep.
They did the same thing, and that's why they couldn't take advantage of none of our mistakes. Mm-hmm. And we did the exact same thing.
It felt like we were watching the same team.
Exactly.
2 transfer quarterbacks that have all the talent in the world, but neither one of them were able to. I think it's what it came down to for me, Kendall. They beat us because they had more talent than us. Mm-hmm. But they're the better team as a whole. But we were in the game the whole time.
And I said that if this was a better team, like a better executing team, we would have been stuck. This game would have been over by halftime.
Yeah.
But no, they let us stay around, and we almost beat them for it.
Yep.
And that's the same thing that we do to other teams. When we know we're better than that team,
I keep put on the net.
Exactly. And if they would have lost, then it would have been their fault. This would have been another game where I would have said, we made too many mistakes, but we won the game. It wasn't.
And you called that block field goal too.
I called I called both of them. I called what other block? The one that Cal had. I called that one too.
Yeah. But every game this year is going the exact same way. Man. Offense struggles, defense plays good the whole half. We get a special team score or a special teams come up with something. Defense get an interception, and we make 9 times out of 10 we're not executing this touchdown at the end of the game, and then we lose. And then we look at ourselves crazy, and we just don't help ourselves at all.
We talked about this too in the press box. If I remember correctly, didn't I say something like, I'm not putting all of it on the offensive line?
You said the offensive line played actually a good game.
So I'm gonna explain that. Because I already know Mr. K was gonna be on. So basically, what I was saying in the press box was, I was paying attention to the offensive line more this game than I have, the rest of the games. They were holding up some plays. They were holding up better than they should have. The play where they got the safety, I'm not putting the onus on the offensive line on that.
That's play calling right there.
That's a play calling issue for me, because, like you said earlier, you're calling a passing play in the end zone,
an empty set at that.
Empty set, and they're long routes. Your quarterback does not have enough time to go through his progressions in that situation.
Especially against a defense like that.
Offensive line holding up as much as they can. At some point, they're gonna get to him. It's gonna happen regardless.
Yeah.
Our offensive line is by far not perfect, but at the end of the day, I'm not gonna put all the onus on them for them being in the backfield, because some of those were play calling issues. I have to say that.
We'll beat that clock, man.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, of course. We got basketball that's coming on. We still gonna be here for recruits.
Oh yeah, we cover all of the sports. We haven't been able to get to every game for all of the other sports as much, but yeah, once football season wraps up, we're definitely here. I'm gonna try my best to get to some tennis games, softball, baseball. We're gonna be on all of those. We're still
gonna dip our hands in every single sport.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not as high on them. I'm really not. Our defense is very reliable, but I'm not as high on them. I agree.
Typical every loss.
I agree. I agree. I agree.
No, that's bulletin board right there.
Yeah, I agree. They left a lot of points for sure. They left a lot of points on the board. Like I said, if we would have won this game, it would have been a worse indictment on FAMU, I think. Because FAMU, obviously, you go in here, okay, it's a battle between number 2 and number 3 in the conference. But obviously, you go in here against a team that you're supposed to be better than. They're on a 7-game winning streak for a reason. They come to Alabama State for the first time ever. They're supposed to be better than us, for sure. And they didn't show it. They didn't show me it. Yeah. They might have showed other people. They didn't show me that they were better than us, because they made a lot of mental mistakes. They did a lot of dumb. They had a lot of dumb situations where they didn't handle clock correctly.
You could tell why both these teams are at the bottom of the food chain in the SWAC right now. Like, if you look at, let's scratch off Jackson State. Let's just go 2 through 8.
Sure.
BAM, ASU, A&M, Valley, UAPB, all of them have bad coaching right now in certain situations. I'm going off SWAC East.
Okay, you said top 8?
Is it 8 in our division? Or is it 6?
But I'm still trying to figure out who do you have above them.
I'm saying Jackson. I'm going based off the rankings.
Okay, Jackson. SWAC. Okay, you take Jackson State off. Who do you have above them? Because you said they're in the bottom of the.
No, I'm saying like 2 through, because FAMU's number 2 and then we're 3. And then
yeah.
What do you mean? What I have above?
But you said bottom, like you have a whole bunch of teams above FAMU and Alabama State.
No, I'm saying that's where it starts down. On down.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
I ain't know what you were
I'm
talking
saying
about.
you can see why we're not in the SWAC championship.
Okay.
Both those teams aren't going to have a postseason.
Yeah. For sure.
How do we manage? Why are we running the ball with 3 minutes left in the game? We have a game-winning drive on the line, right? We're running the ball with 3 minutes left in the game. After I think it was 3rd and 10. We run the ball with Jawan Howard.
Mm-hmm.
We stand around. Look at why we look at the sideline like this.
We was in the stands for that last drive too. We usually in the press box.
We don't snap the ball again till 1:30.
Oh yeah.
We don't snap the ball again till a minute and 30 left in the game.
I was completely flabbergasted in the press box.
Yes.
I was flabbergasted.
They can't. They look at us in the press box.
I was like,
no, look at.
How do you waste what they wasted about 30, 35 seconds?
Yes.
How do you waste
about
that
a minute
much
and a half?
time?
A minute and a half.
Just not doing anything. How do you waste that much
We're
time?
standing around trying to call up a play on the fly.
Yeah.
If you are, Coach Robinson says they practice 2-minute drills weekly and beat it like a Dale horse. If you practice 2-minute drills every week,
I couldn't tell. That's exactly the only reason why we got a field goal opportunity was because FAM's clock management was just as bad.
Yes.
That's literally the only reason.
Yes.
Only reason. Hey, Miss Body.
Hey, Miss Body, how you doing? That's true.
We got to change it.
I wouldn't even say the play calling is boring.
I wouldn't say the play calling is boring now. Last year, play calling was boring because there's no way in the world we're running the ball 85, 90% of the time and throwing short routes the rest. So I wouldn't say it's boring, but penalties, we gotta stop. We gotta stop the penalties. We're getting penalized way too much for the amount of or for the lack of offensive production we have. It's just too much.
I don't want any more defensive players here. I think we're fine defensively. Me and Kendall were looking at the recruiting class this past week. They're focused on defense again.
I wouldn't mind.
I want some linemen.
I wouldn't mind.
I want some offensive linemen. O-line, where are you? Yep.
Exactly. Yeah, you gonna have to remember.
No, I'm talking about this specific season. He's one of the best coaches in the FCS, but this specific season, I don't think that his play calling that has been, especially this game, I guess I'll say, was a better thing to say. This game, you can see why both these teams are not competing for SWAC championship over. That's the best.
I wanted you to get an opportunity. Oh, by the way, Coach Simmons, we were there for his post game press conference too.
Great coach.
Yeah, great dude, great coach. They were dealing with, I forgot exactly what he was talking about.
There was a suicide at the former school.
Oh yeah. So they played that game with a heavy heart. He coached that game with a heavy heart. But as far as I could tell, a great dude. Somebody that I would love to be coached by. I mean, just by the way that he was talking, just by the stuff that he was saying.
And I love FAMU's. They brought a great atmosphere.
Oh, for sure.
Their band had me wanting to dance around with them because I was just like, the atmosphere was crazy. Mm-hmm. And then when they won the game, they over here taking over the whole. It's like a home game for FAMU.
Yeah, was this your first time seeing them play?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I saw him play last year. I went to FAMU last year to watch them play, and atmosphere was very similar. Mm-hmm. In a lot of different ways, and I thought that it was really nice just to have them kind of bring that atmosphere there. We talked about it before, kind of questions about how packed the game was going to be and all of that type of stuff.
And they brought it.
They brought some really good energy.
I didn't see much improvement as far as mental mistakes in the game. I mean, I've seen it over the past 3 games.
I think he's talking about us affecting their mental mistakes. I feel like
that was self-inflicted.
I feel like that was more self-inflicted than us having anything to do with it. Like I said about the clock management at the end of the first half, that's more them. Clock management at the end of the second half, I feel like that's more them. I don't necessarily know how much we really had to do that.
Like, comment, subscribe, y'all. Like, comment, subscribe. Also, I want to do this real quick. There was a Hall of Fame event this past Friday. That was a great event to attend. Shout out to all 17 inductees that were inducted. Shout out to them.
They didn't, because the FAMU from last year, if they would have played the same way that they did last
50,
year, they
30.
no. In my opinion, no. I honestly think they would have won that game more convincingly. FAMU last year, I think they beat us 28-0.
28, yeah, 29.
I don't think that they would have had as much success offensively as they did, but I definitely think that they would have won that game more convincingly, for sure. Yep. Very true. Very true.
Yeah, that fourth quarter, those last 3 minutes were absolutely awful.
We've been struggling with discipline, I feel like, all year, as far as us making a lot of self-inflicted mistakes and them showing up with penalties and stuff like that.
The quarterback position doesn't really change no matter who you put back there right now because of the struggles of the offensive line, in my opinion, and play calling as well. I can't emphasize this enough.
Yeah, I feel like that should be the point of emphasis. I know we're losing, and I mean, we looked at the recruiting class, like you said earlier. I think it was, 16, 15?
You said 16
secondary
DBs
players? Yeah.
and 8 linemen.
I understand that we're losing some people in the secondary, but at the same time, offensive line. See, this is the thing. And we talked about this before. And we'll pose a question to y'all too. What would y'all do? As a coaching staff, if y'all were the coaches, what would y'all do? Would y'all
focus on the transfer portal?
Yeah, would y'all focus on the transfer portal for offensive linemen, or would y'all focus on developing the offensive linemen that you have? The reason why this was kind of such a question for me was, if I'm the offense, if I'm the person recruiting, like if I'm the recruiters and stuff like that, if I'm Coach Rob and all of them, I'm looking at it and I'm saying, I have a talented quarterback in Demetrius Davis. I have talent at my skill positions with Jeremiah Hickson, Levante Chenault. The list goes on and on and on. Ja'Cory Merritt. The list goes on and on. I don't think we have enough time to develop all of our offensive linemen, because the thing that I don't want to happen is, okay, we have 2 more seasons like this one, where we're like, all right, the offensive line got to get better, and then turn around. What? Didi's a senior. Didi's a senior. Jeremiah's gone. Levante's gone, and now you're just left with kind of scraps.
You want to maximize this Demetrius transfer as much as possible.
Yeah,
it's almost like, and I hate to. This is a basketball analogy for what I'm understanding. Mm-hmm. It's almost like when the Lakers got LeBron James, and you're talking about, I don't want to trade these picks. Yeah. No, let's try to win right now and do what we can right now, so we don't have to, have regrets once he's gone. Because you may never ever get a transfer like that ever again. Mm-hmm. You never know what could happen in the future.
Yeah, I definitely think we have a lot of talent, and I just don't want us to waste that talent. I think that's the biggest thing that I was going to say.
It's very confusing to me how before the season people were saying we had one of the best offensive lines. Like, I never understood that. Me and you both were very confused on that.
Yeah, I think our tempo could be a lot better, and I think if our tempo was better, I feel like our offense could be better. Like, I feel like our offense would shine a little bit more. We have a lot of guys that can kind of put people on their heels.
But like I said, how you gonna play up tempo if you're not getting a positive play every job? You're not calling plays that are getting you positive yards. You can't be 2nd and 15, 2nd and 11. Talking about come on.
Yeah, that's the type of stuff I feel like we just kind of got to work on.
And then you're gonna get false starts. Yeah, you can wear a defense down like that, but you're also gonna harm yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, that was
crazy.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, definitely appreciate the love. We got a lot of good stuff coming soon for you guys, so we can't wait to, we can't wait for y'all to see it. Mom, welcome back.
How you
Mom was on a
doing?
cruise. Mama was on a cruise for 14 days. Welcome back, Mom. Welcome back.
He was jealous.
Yeah, it definitely was. I could believe that. I could definitely believe that.
You sure? Because the Jackson State game, 59-3, is crazy. You sure?
I'll add a one.
Yeah,
I'll add a one to that comment.
Because
Yeah, we gotta check. We gotta check with all the guys about their eligibility because I feel like
that transfer portal is confusing.
yeah, and then the COVID year, like you said, JUCO, we gotta put all of that into account. Yeah, the score last year was 28-7. My fault. I forgot. We scored a touchdown very, very late into that game. I think a balance would be good. A balance of going transfer portal and developing. Because I'm not expecting them to get all new offensive linemen. I'm not expecting that.
But one or two could change life.
Oh yeah, for sure. I really think that's a possibility.
At least make it.
We just got to put the right pieces around.
I think with a lot of people, and I've heard this before,
Mm-hmm.
People are banking on Dion possibly leaving or Jackson State moving up,
Mm-hmm.
and then that opens up a door for us to win this fight, which it does. But I wouldn't bank on that. I want to beat Jackson State.
I mean, but I think if you're looking at the game that we played against them, with unbiased opinion, it was a more competitive game than I think people were going into the game thinking.
Yeah, both years, to be honest with you, because even the year before that, we still.
And I think when you put that into account, there's different changes that could be made in order to make that an even closer game.
Yeah.
You always want to improve, and I think anytime that you see teams like that, you always want to improve and make those changes in order to compete against them. Sure. And I feel like we can do that. We're close to that. Yeah.
They've been doing
at least make it more consistent. Jalen is Jalen John, right? Jalen John.
It's not Jalen. It's Jaden.
Jaden. All right.
Jaden
it
John.
wasn't no John,
Jaden
whatever you was
John.
about to say though. I don't know what you was about to say, but yeah, Jaden is definitely Jaden's definitely been improved though for sure. Me personally, I would keep Robert Alston the fourth, and I keep Keandra Salter. Yeah, Salter. I keep Keandra Salter.
I'm not gonna lie, everybody can go.
Oh my god.
Everybody can go.
God. Oh my god.
Everybody. We need a fresh start.
I think it's guys on the offensive line that you can keep and work with. I think that where we are right now, Didi can't keep taking as many hits as he's taking.
This guy.
He can't keep taking as many hits.
This guy.
I'll say that, and I already said my piece, so I'll move on. Yeah. Like I said, I don't really know the sense of urgency that Coach Robinson has right now, as far as that's concerned.
I think the urgency depends on what the administration's going, how many years he has to win the championship. I think he wants to compete right now, but there's outside pressure that's going to dictate.
I agree, but I feel like you've had such an impressive first season. Mm-hmm. I'm not trying to go backwards.
That's fair.
I'm trying to keep getting better. And all right, we competing for the second spot in the division. Mm-hmm. It's only up from there as far as I'm concerned. And Coach Robinson is a competitive person. It's only up from there as a coach.
I think he stays.
Yeah, why would you leave? I hope he don't leave. That's the homie. I hope he don't leave. Shoot.
We rock with Asian, man.
That's definitely true. We gotta incorporate that a lot though. We gotta say that because at the end of the day,
he's dealing with a knee injury right now.
At the end of the day, the dude's been injured all season pretty much. We gotta put that into account.
We still played a relatively solid. It wasn't up to the expectations that I think I had for him and a lot of other people had for him. Mm-hmm. But it was still he put you in a position to win some games
for sure.
Hey, Kendall, please go back that way. Hey! Woo! Andrew Body!
I knew you was going to do that, bro. Shout out to Andrew Body, man. And his body.
That's tempered, isn't it?
Appreciate that. We definitely appreciate that, and I think, you know, as being part of it, I definitely think that's a dynamic that I love. We may not always agree, but we definitely make some entertaining content, so we definitely appreciate that. That's true too. That's very true too. What? Black and gold game, we was talking about who was starting.
He first transferred.
Black and gold game, we was talking about who was going to be starting, Ryan Nettles, who's now the quarterback at Tuskegee, and Miles Crawley. And Joe. Yeah, we was talking about Joe too, but because of the way that the reps was being distributed, we was talking about Miles and Ryan at the beginning. So yeah, that's a great point. We definitely didn't talk about that. That's a great point. I think discipline takes away a couple of their drives too. They've had a couple of big plays that have been taken back because of penalties too. So I can agree with that.
But you still shouldn't lose 59.
Fair. They did have a lot of their players.
They did, but true. Jackson State ain't scored above 50 since then.
Okay. So that's actually one of the things that I'm saying about the offensive line. They've had a lot of movement in their offensive line. We haven't seen the same center play all season. Like it's been different dudes being put in that position that don't necessarily play center. So I think when we're talking about those inconsistencies, I think we got to shed some light on that. I don't even know all of the extent of it. I am getting those from sources, but I mean, that type of thing is something that I think we should put into account. Yeah, Stafford too. I can see that. I can see keeping Stafford too. So that's my question to y'all. We've had this conversation a couple of times this season. One of the things that the offensive line does or doesn't do that I haven't necessarily seen a lot of is that they don't communicate very well. And one of the things that I've noticed as far as watching a lot of film on this team is that a lot of the blitzes that they go through, a lot of the different types of movement on the defensive line that A&M did, they don't communicate those things, and it leads to them missing blocks just in general. You'll have a dude blitz off the end or blitz off the edge, and instead of prioritizing inside protection or instead of prioritizing outside protection, they'll miss a block, and they'll have a straight line to DD or whoever's back there, Miles or whoever, or you know they'll be right there when it comes to a handoff situation too. So I think that's something that we definitely got to address. I don't know if the offensive line changes that next year, but if not, then yeah, I definitely address the offensive line change. I mean, I definitely think it needs to be consistent. We talked about that earlier. I definitely think it needs to be consistent.
Bubba has 2 more years.
Yeah. Because now I don't know. And again, like I said, this is something that we would have to have a conversation with the guys about. But I don't know exactly. Since he's gotten injured a couple of times, I don't know how that affects. And he's gotten injured early in the season. I don't know how that affects his eligibility moving forward. I'm not necessarily sure about his eligibility.
We appreciate you.
Yes, Adrian, because he was listed as questionable last game. So yeah, he should be back this game for sure.
Hey, shout out to Scotty, man. Shout out to Oscar. We would love to come on the show one day, by the way. That would be some great content.
That'd be a great collab.
For sure. Hey, y'all get some contact on me, can you though? Make some happen. I think they just won the game. What happened?
I can't lie to you though. That was going to be a tough field goal regardless. I mean,
I would love to see it go up at least.
yeah, that would have been a tough field goal regardless though. So I don't necessarily know if they wouldn't have blocked it if we would have made it. That would have been a tough field goal regardless though. So put that in the context too.
But that's also an FCS. I mean, also a Power 5 school. We're not going to get
One
that.
of the best too.
Yeah, the best.
I mean, and not this year.
But as far
I'll
as
say what I'll say
program
best.
wise,
Yeah, I'll say best program.
program
Sure. Yeah,
wise,
I get that.
yeah. Even if we look at the best team in our conference this year, they have some big old linemen. We could definitely up our size. I think the game is won in the trenches, no matter who you play. Yeah, and it doesn't matter. On the outside, we know what the talent is.
Mm-hmm.
That's what separates the game. Can you get a push, or can you push somebody? Give your guy time to survey the field, and then let's see what the car is like.
Yep.
Let's give a shout out to the volleyball team.
Got to.
Guys, the volleyball teams, they are currently ranked number 1. They have the number 1 seed in the SWAC tournament starting this Friday.
They got that SWAC regular season championship.
We are taking on the team on the hill. Alabama them in the first round.
Rivalry game.
This season, we went 2-0 against them, beating them 3-1. I'm looking forward to seeing a Bama State SWAC tournament, SWAC championship. I'm looking forward to see us go to that.
Especially for the volleyball team, man. They were so close last year. Had a great team last year. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. Talk to Coach White, all of that. She's excited about it. I'm happy. I'm happy for them, but I can't wait to see how far they go in this tournament. Wishing them the best of luck. Absolutely wishing them or paying attention, wishing them the best of luck.
Game is taking place in Houston, Texas, by the way. In Houston, Texas. So if you are in Texas, if you are in the, I want to say the Texas chapter. I don't know what it's called. Whatever the chapter is in Texas for ASU, make sure you check them out, please.
Absolutely. Shout out to them. Good luck. Can't wait to see the game. Is it gonna be on TV?
I don't think so.
We'll let y'all know.
They said our offensive line has been together for three seasons. They shouldn't be this bad. I think you have to mix it in. Kind of how Alabama does with Bryce Young. Bryce Young can move, but they give him the opportunity to be a pocket passer. You look at Lamar Jackson. The Ravens have learned over the years how to adjust him to both. Russell Wilson, same thing.
I think there is a filling out process for OC, QB coach, and QB. I definitely agree with that, but
like a new to it.
Yeah, I feel like the blocking scheme doesn't always benefit, or the blocking scheme doesn't always catch different defenses, because you're never gonna have a defense do the same thing all game most of the time.
Bam, they blitz on just about every single play.
You're gonna have blitz packages. You're gonna have different movement on the line. Your blocking scheme is going to have to change at some point, depending on what the defense does. It has to. Otherwise, you're going to have a lot of situations where you got unmanned guys making plays in the backfield.
Can I ask you something? And I'm going to ask y'all this as well. So, would Levante Chenault have made a difference in that game?
I think he could have. I mean, I feel like with the wide receiver position, I think out of every position group on the offense, a wide receiver is the one that I feel like brings it every game. Mm-hmm. I don't know about you, but I've rarely seen the wide receiver corps drop passes. I've rarely seen them run routes that set the quarterback up for picks. So as far as how much of a difference Levante would have made.
Shout out to Jacoby Jones, by the way. He's doing a great job with that receiver.
Oh, for sure. Jacoby Jones has. Oh my
He's
goodness,
revolutionized his core as opposed to last year.
Absolutely, and last year's group was cool, but I feel like this year's group is like we talked about with the depth so many times already.
And it's some of these the same players though.
They're not a we're Jeremiah or a bust team. I feel like last year was more of a we're a Jeremiah bust team.
Now we got Keyshawn, who was one of the better receivers, he's challenging Jacoby for that number one spot at times.
Jeremiah.
I say he's challenging Jeremiah for that number one spot at times. I think he's turned into a big play guy for us. I'm excited to see how his development is over this going into the next couple of years.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's a lot on that offense that can be really good. So I'm looking forward to something changing. Because like I said, we got a lot of talent on that side of the ball. But I just think they need more time together, all healthy, and hopefully they can put something together. Like I said before, they've struggled with a lot of injuries and a lot of movement. You can be together for 3 years, but I don't necessarily think that they've had consistency over those 3 years.
Especially
now, last year might be a little bit different. I don't necessarily remember exactly what the line looked like offense or offensive wise last year, but this year you got a lot more injuries than I think people realize, and I think people give it credit to. I didn't even really know about it until, like I said, I got a couple of guys that told me about it. So that's one of the things that I feel like you kind of gotta not make excuses, but you kind of gotta understand a little bit more. Yeah, it definitely did. Like I said, I called it before it happened. I something about it just felt like, all right, they're gonna get a block.
I wouldn't even think about the block.
Yeah, and I ain't trying to LeBron James this either. Like I legit said this. Before.
And what LeBron
I legit said it though.
Yeah, so, he did call it, y'all. We were sitting right there behind him too.
Yeah, it was just one of those things where I felt like something was going to happen. I just know it's ASU type fashion. I just felt like it.
And better than a kick six though. Like if we'd have lost on a kick six, I'd have been crying.
Yeah.
We'll say that's what we did.
That's true, and I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I have the utmost confidence in Coach Robinson's ability to recruit. I've already told you. I think the man, if head coaching ain't his thing, recruiting is definitely his thing. Selling. That man put his real estate agency occupation to work. Yeah. That man, because you don't get that many players coming in as a freshman head coach after the season that we had last year, and get that many dudes from big schools, from all of these different places to come to your program and work. So, I definitely think that he has the ability to do that. I would love to see him do that.
I think he's ASU as far as football atmospheres, the stadium. We have a lot to offer as well.
We do. One of the best stadiums in
the best in the SWAC.
Yeah.
We have a lot
FCS,
to offer.
One of the best in the FCS.
Mm-hmm. FCS.
I'm tired.
You good.
I told y'all.
Shout out to the pre-snap breed, man. Shout out to the pre-snap breed. I enjoyed it. Go check out that stream we did with them. That was great.
Yeah, my man was on it. My man represented very nicely. Very nicely.
For sure.
Shout out to y'all. I got to get on there with y'all one of these days, for sure.
Coach Robinson?
I want to say he's talking about Gerald. I'm not sure. Who are you talking about? Who's him?
There was some arguments on the bench. I don't know.
Yeah, it was.
I think that's a lot of
a game like that. Though, you got to be frustrated. That's a tough game to lose.
I would rather them be frustrated than be happy and complacent.
Oh yeah, being frustrated. Teams are going to fight. Teams are going to have disagreements. I think being frustrated over games like this is definitely warranted.
When you know your potential, I think we know their potential. We've seen them at their best.
They could be a lot better than their record shows.
Yeah.
They've shot themselves in the foot like we talked about before. They put themselves in bad positions multiple times this season in games that they could have won.
And you saw that with Coach Robinson in the press conference. He was very not even hurt, but more like, well, I'll say hurt. It was like,
We should have won the game.
Yeah.
No questions about it. They should have won the game. So I definitely think that's a good perspective to have. Wide receiver coach. Oh.
I don't know how he was disappointed him. Maybe somebody didn't run a route correctly.
I mean, that late game execution could have played a part in that too.
Not get out of bounds.
Yeah.
Miles played a great throw though.
Yeah. And that's the thing. That's another thing about Miles that I feel like he doesn't get on the field as much now, but he has a great one play mindset. I think. Mm-hmm. As far as body language, I feel like that's where he has Demetrius beat. Because
he has leadership. He displays.
Miles can take a lot of stuff on the chin and just kind of rock with it. Mm-hmm. That's a really great quality about him, and that's one of the things. That was one of the biggest reasons why I said during the Black and Gold game around that time, I think that he could really be a great leader for this team because he does that very well. That's something that I think Demetrius could really benefit from because Demetrius, at least from what we've seen, he's very hard on himself. I think as a player that's used to winning, as a player that's used to having success, I think that's something that happens.
Because it's probably the most losing. If we're just negating his Auburn experience, as far as being a starting quarterback, it's the most losing he's done in his whole life.
Yeah. So I think that's one of those things that he'll. I feel like he'll grow into that and he'll kind of understand. All right, especially based on the way that he kind of at least seems. We don't know him like personally as far as him interacting with the team, but he seems a lot more reserved, a lot more quiet.
I'm a lead by
example type of person.
Yeah.
Those type of guys, your body language has to be better.
Yeah.
Because if you lead by example, then I'm looking at you as a teammate as all right, what he does, I'm gonna do. The precedent that he sets, I'm gonna set. So,
but this is also his first time leading a team in college. You know, at Auburn, he was sitting behind Bo Nix for a couple of years. And leadership comes with time. I don't think you're just necessarily, I'm gonna hop out. You can't do that. That's something that he can do. I think Coach Robinson can talk about that with the off season. It's almost like throwing a towel over your head and I'm sitting over here. Hey, I would rather see him after in a game like that. Come on, y'all, one play. We need one play. There's one play and we got the game. We won it. We don't gotta do nothing special. Just do what you gotta do. As opposed to, hey, you see him holding his head down.
I think it's also kind of hard to have that type of demeanor when you get your bell rung all the time too.
That's true. Because I was worried about him having a concussion.
Yeah,
he took a big hit early in
that game. One
thing
I gotta say about him, man. That dude can fight. That dude can take a lot of punishment and he can come back. You know, we saw that in a lot of games. It takes a lot for him to get out of it.
Yeah.
And as far as outside of the shoulder injury and then the knee injury, I mean, he's been pretty reliable, I guess, as far as getting up from hits. So that's.
I'd rather be contact injuries than non-contact though, personally.
Yeah, for sure, especially for a player of his playing style.
Yeah. Just about done here.
Yeah. We're trying. We got a lot of planning to do over the break. We still plan on giving y'all some content, but we definitely.
He's talking about the show that I did.
Oh, my fault, bro.
No. I get what you. No. I said.
My fault. You do one show without me. You think you?
No. I was reading. You have to read the. Go ahead, bro. I'm sorry.
I was saying that it was one of the R. Oh, okay, the R got me.
Yeah, it's okay. Hey, it's all right though. It's all right. We're a team. We're gonna go up there. We're gonna top that last show, right?
Feelings just got a little right. But nah, guys. Like I said before, we got a lot of planning and stuff that we want to implement. Trying to put some things in motion. So we'll be letting y'all know, what we got planned and all of that type of stuff.
2022 gonna be a big year. 2023.
But yeah, we appreciate you guys. We appreciate all the love and support.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah, make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Share the stream.
Let us know what we can improve on the DMs. Our messages are always open.
Absolutely. Let us know what you guys want to see. What more could we do for y'all to make stuff more interesting, give y'all more insight into what's going on at ASU.
For sure.
But that's all for me, man. You got anything else?
Oh, that's it. That's a wrap. We appreciate you guys. Have a safe night. I guess we'll potentially see you guys Friday. Talk about some hoops.
Yeah.
Peace. Hopefully they get a win tonight.
See ya.